lot of times they said, how do you know that you were called to be a missionary? And for me, my thought was, if this is real, why am I going to do anything else with my life? I mean, if I really believe what I say I believe, why am I going to waste my time doing anything else? You know, I'll do anything. And what was crazy is I still have that attitude. I'll do anything. I don't care. I'll do it for Jesus. I didn't particularly feel called to this life. I didn't feel called to live in a hammock or to sweat every waking moment of your life or to be in situations that are dirty and filthy. I never planned on being with people that were undereducated. And we rode up into this village that we'd not even planned on visiting. And we rode into the village, and when we got there, there were 3 old women that were there waiting on us. And one of these women was just tears rolling down her eyes. And she looked at me and she said, because when we were little girls, we became Christians in our village, and their village was all the way in another province. They said we became Christians in that village, and there was a church there, but our husbands came and they took us and they brought us here, and we don't have a Bible. We do not have any other Christians around. There's no one else around. And so we have been praying. The 3 of us have been praying for 20 years for God to send somebody. I'm laying there and I'm praying, and I'm saying, God, I know that you have someone. And I was praying Luke 10:2. I said, God, send laborers in the harvest field. Lord, send workers, send people to come and plant churches among these people. God, send a man, send a woman, send young people. But God asked me one question. He said, but if you don't, then who will? He said, you've seen the sights, you've seen the sounds, you see the need, and if you don't do it, then who am I going to get to do it? That was in 1998, and I said, okay, God, I'll do it. And in 2000, what was crazy is I met Leah. I remember thinking to myself, God, I'm this close to getting married. I will not tell her that I'm called to the jungle because she will never marry me. I feel like God just said, you don't have to, I'm telling her. And that day, I'm in one village and she's in another village. And when I get into that village, I'm looking around and I know that's where my heart is. And God says, I'm telling her right now. And I remember walking back into a hotel room that night. And when I walked into the hotel room, she's sitting on the edge of the bed. And she said, I need to tell you something. I said, no, let me tell you. God told you that we need to move here and that we're supposed to reach the Shwar people. And she starts crying. I said, yes, that's what we're going to do. You know, so many times we live our life wondering if we're called to do something. And I think it's the wrong question to ask. I think the question that we have to ask, are we not called to do something? Because I think Jesus was pretty clear. We're called. We don't have an option. We cannot deny the Great Commission. We have to do something. The need is the call, and we got to respond. We're so concerned about getting all of our ducks in a row. Those people that are waiting to do that are never going to do anything for God. Realistically, the burning bush only comes to tell us not to do something. And anything else, guess what we have to do? We have to respond. God doesn't have a plan B. He has one plan, and we're all part of it. Stop trying to get everything, all your ducks in a row and make it all happen. Stop trying to have all the answers. If you don't want me to do this, then send me a burning bush. If you don't want me to respond to this need, tell me that, Lord. Tell me that. Some of you have pretexts for obedience. You know what that means? That means you say, okay, God, when I have this much money, and when I have this, and when I have that, and when I have this, then I'm going to do something for you. Partial obedience is complete disobedience. When we obey God partially in our lives, it's the same as if we were totally disobedient to the Lord. What are the things you're trying to get in order so that God can use you? I'm just ignorant enough to believe that if He says it, then I can do it. It doesn't mean I'm going to have success, but it means I'm going to have His blessing, which is much more important than success.